Warning: Who Are You and Why Should I Care is intended for mature audiences and can and will offend you. If you get offended easily, please do not watch. In case you do get offended, please do not attempt to contact voice news or challenge on how offended you are, or you're going to be laughed at, dictated, but not read. Your mom, mate.
And welcome to the first ever episode of Who Are You and Why Should I Care? This is the first ever major fandom media show that the host isn't a complete douchebag. And yes, I'm talking to you, OJ. Yeah, OJ. My name is Chalice, honorable spick of the Horse News Group, and lovable fat ass. Today we're going to have a chat with Flameheart K. This was actually recorded a couple weeks ago, and I've been hesitant to getting my lazy ass off and recording and editing it and putting it out there, and I decided fuck it. you know there will be a reason why I decided to do it now other than a couple weeks ago. You'll see. It was actually pretty funny. So yeah, this show is about doing interviews, and instead of being pretentious talking about myself and having the same 100 questions that everybody asks the same 100 people, I've decided, hey, let's spice this shit up a little bit. So obviously profanity, sexual shit. If you don't like that, then why the fuck are you even on Horse News? Seriously. Uh, so without further ado, before we start the interview, and I know people wanted to hear this interview, I'm going to start with the weekend review. Just what happened in the fandom, all the fun drama, all the stupid shit that happened, and just do that and see where it goes. Anyway, here we go. Well, first things first from last week. Myra, oh crap, I can't even fix this. Let's see, Marike Hendrikse, some kind of Swedish shit. The voice of Gilda and Sonata is coming to BabsCon. It's going to be fun. Horse News will be at BabsCon. We're gonna tear that shit up. We're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna get fucking wasted. Anyway, she's the voice of Gilda. She's the voice of Sonata, the taco waifu, I guess. I mean, this is the funniest part is that everybody's like tacos, and it's like tacos are not even that good. I mean, it's all right, but it's not the best Mexican food you can have. Now, some mole con arroz. There you go. That's some good shit right there. Now, this article was the most successful article that Horse News has ever had. It reached over 100,000 views. It was seen on multiple sites. We were linked on multiple sites: Gawker, Huffington Post, different chat sites and clickbait shit. This is the infamous mass-produced China Rainbow Dash sex doll. Look at that fucking shit-eating grin that right there. So this is basically a Chinese company decided to, hey, we're gonna make these inflatable dolls with Nicki Minaj's ass as a base. Basically, it's Nicki Minaj and her ass right there with some like one string. What the fuck? I don't know, but Jesus fucking Christ. Honestly, let's be honest here, we didn't exactly expect this article to be our top sell, our top, holy shit, this is our best article ever. We didn't expect it. We thought maybe a couple thousand views, that's it, fun, blah, 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 move on, next drama. So there it is. There is the most successful article that Horse News has ever done. This third one is kind of a sad day, was a sad day in Tumblr Pwn, was the closing of Ask Fury Bell. Now, if you don't know, if you're living under a rock, Ask Fury Bell was basically a caricature. First, it was a caricature of Pinkie Pony and her crazy, shitty, just balls to the wall nuts views on Brony's life and tiny, colorful horses. It was supposed to be a caricature of her, but it kind of expanded to basically the pony version of Pleep Comics, which Pleep Comics is awesome and fucking rad. But there it is. Cat Food McFly closes Ask Fury Bell. It was a hell of a run, and I give all mad props and respects to Cat Food. You are one based motherfucker. Now, this was a great news from the SoCal Bronies and what we're all about. EQLA is back. It's going to be Labor Day weekend is going to be fun. Horse News will be there since I'm going to be there, and Rough Draft is going to be there. Maybe some other Horse News staff will make a surprise appearance. I don't know. It's too early to tell. But I will say this, that I have all vested faith in the SoCal Bronies and the group that runs not Babs, Brony, whatever the fuck this con is, EQLA. There you go, EQLA. And I'm going to say this, that we're going to try, me and the Southern California regiment of Horse News will try to make a nice little tourism video for you all, so y'all know where to go, where to eat, when you're not honing it out. Obviously, there's a map of the area around this convention center where it's going to take place. You got LA, which is shit. Downtown Anaheim, my hood, where I hang out, Newport Beach, where all the white people are. It's kind of nice. I mean, not if you're white, it's nice. Home of the Ducks, home of the Angels, gotta represent. And Santa Ana, which is also shit. There you go. So yeah, good times are going to happen Labor Day weekend. This news caught us everyone by surprise, was Moot stepping down from 4chan. The founder of 4chan basically just called it quits. He decided, I'm done with the shit, and there it is. An end of an era, really. There will be people who started 4chan when Moot wasn't around, and you will feel really fucking old when years go by, when you ask someone on 4chan, hey, are you were there before Moot? And they're gonna say, who the fuck is Moot? And then that's when it's gonna hit that you are an old bitch. That you are an extremely old bitch. That you were long enough on 4chan to remember Moots and the shit that every time he posted, everybody would just be talking shit, calling him a complete. Well, I can't really say it, but whatever. There you go. He retired. He's stepping down. I don't know about this, really. It's only time will tell when it comes to stuff like this. Now, there has been a few people in the history of /LP that's been called a plushie fucker. Jin, that guy who stole the plushie from TrodCon, plushie fuckers. This guy is a literal plushie fucker. Well, then there's Jin and the other guy. They're all three of them are literal plushie fuckers. This guy actually would go into jail for this shit. Now, I think we all remember the story back then where this guy went to a Florida, now of course the Florida man. Florida man went into a Walmart, had sex with a pony plushie, splooshed all over it, and placed it back on the fucking shelf. Yeah, I know, right? So he pleaded no contest, has to pay a fine, order to stay away from the victim, aka Walmart, obviously. So there's that. That's an end of that chapter. And that guy has the face of a future serial killer. Now, Flameheart Kindle. Now, remember I was going to interview this guy? Well, there was a reason why I decided to publish this right now. Because recently he had got his ass handed to him by good old Big Mac himself, Peter New. The center of controversy a while back, kind of lay low. And now, look at him. He's doing God's work. I know, right? Anyway, Flameheart K, evangelicalist, outspoken evangelicalist, Brony, tried to convince guests of honor that don't go to TrodCon because they're going to do an 18 plus vendor hall, which honestly I think is a great idea. When you have this part of the fandom being recognized, it really brings inclusion. And isn't inclusion part of the new progressive movement in America, where everybody should be included in our activities, even people who fap to fucking horses? There you go. That's the progressivism that we want. I'm not being sarcastic, really. Honestly, I'm not being sarcastic. This is really great. I actually am entertaining the idea of going to Ohio to see this in action. Not for the sole purpose of, going to a fucking 18 plus vendor hall. But if they're going to allow an 18 vendor hall, what else they're going to allow? Are they going to allow boozing it up? Oh, I hope so. Are they going to allow parties at the con? Maybe not at the con floor, but the con suites? Oh, hell yes. Oh, and it's Ohio, which the girls in Ohio, the girls of Ohio, right? Yeah, if we're going to deal with Ohio girls, yeah, scratch that. I'm not gonna go to TrodCon. Anyway, he decided to say, hey, no, let's not do the porn thing. And then Big Macintosh and him go into a nice little online scuffle. It was fun to watch. It was entertaining. I mean, Osaka Jack didn't really have to put his comments in there because he's a complete, jackass. But that's not the point. Wait. I love this part though. Osaka Jack doesn't like the 18 plus part of the fandom, right? But yet he's cheering on the fact that this guy's getting beaten for saying that there shouldn't be an 18 part of the fandom. You fucking hypocrite. Oh, I know I'm gonna get passive aggressive tweets, but you know what? That's fine. I got my bottle of alcohol here. That's what I got, Buchanan's. Let me just chug this shit up Buchanan's right now before I do this. Ah, that's good. Good shit right there. Ugh. Anyway, Buchanan's Deluxe, everyone. So basically, it lasted a couple days. Ooh, that's some good strong alcohol. So it lasted a couple days. Those two got into it. Other fandom people got into it. Leakfish obviously got into it because her and Steve Strezza really care about LGBTQ rights. Shit in this flack? Ew. Okay, so there's something in the this whatever. So Steve Stressa, Leakfish care about LGBTQ rights, and they were obviously involved in this. Peter New just wanted to just end this, but Flameheart couldn't shut the fuck up. So that's why he got the ass whooping that was handed to him. For better or for worse, you know what? If you believe in God, that's fine with you. I'm personally Catholic, and I think you're all going to hell. I'm going to hell, so fuck it. Let's party it up while we're at it. Starting with this nice bottle of Buchanan. Anyway, so that's what happened. You know, I should really make a drinking game about like every time I do a story, I should just take a shot. That Buchanan was good as fuck. Kind of burned the throat, but whatever. So next story, and this is a story that's still ongoing, is 2+ years of 4chan moderated RSC chat logs just thrown into the world for all to see. Mind and the mannerisms of the 4chan mods and janitors, and we discovered something big. Yet sturdy is Scruffy. We now know the name of Scruffy, and now there is an investigation. Are we gonna piece? Will we find out the true, real identity of Yet Sturdy, aka Scruffy? I don't know, honestly, but the clues are there. If you look at the chat logs, it's there. He's a person. He's a real thing. It's one person, and who is it? We don't know. Now we're cracking clues. There's going to be evidence. Obviously, there's going to be things he or she says in the chat logs that kind of point to this person or that person, but we really won't know until we find out. And that was stupid. I just went the whole thing without saying, yeah, we're going to do this until we find out. But I'm just saying that there's going to be a bunch of things here that's going to show who is it, and maybe we can get an answer why. Well, actually, wait, there was an answer why. Because the guy apparently hates Sasha P, likes the show, loves the show, but the guy's fucking nuts. So he likes the show, part of the fandom, but he just hates himself for being a brony, quote unquote, and is taking it out on slash MLP. So that's why the assumption, and even on the chat logs, he's saying delete slash MLP over and over to the point where everyone's just telling him to shut the fuck up. That's kind of crazy to the point where he's saying delete slash MLP over and over and over until one day they're like, just shut the fuck up. It ain't gonna happen. So it's all leaked, it's all there, and the investigation still continues because this is 2 years of moderation chats. Now, in order to be edgy in 4chan and to be 13 in 4chan, you have to be a fan of a quote unquote wrong ideological thought. Whether that be the more common Nazism, where you see a bunch of Nazi posts and images, especially on Paul, and basically just, I'm a Nazi, and it's like, I'm being fucking edgy. The same goes with communism. But in the last couple of years, there has been a new type of ideological thought that has became the more, I am part of this because I'm edgy. I'm edgy as I want to be. That would be ISIS. Now, I'm not gonna go into that because I don't want to get fucking beheaded. But apparently, ISIS fighters, or a bunch of two bored white kids who hate bronies because they're fucking jackasses, and also they can't carry a gun. I mean, they can't properly carry a gun and save their lives from the looks of things. Beheaded a Pinkie Pie doll. Oh, we're so scared. Oh my god. The two white boys from Wisconsin are so gonna put me in fear because he beheaded fucking Pinkie Pie, who was worse. Oh, there you go. It's an unstory. Seriously. Beheaded a doll. The fuck? One. Okay, I'll get one. Why? Two. Who did he get that from? Did he have to go to the store and buy the Pinkie Pie doll? That's not really much of a kidnapping if he bought the fucking thing with his own fucking money. And three, where did he fucking get his gear? And four, why is he why are you gonna put it in drapes? I mean, look, he put it in drapes right there for the Pinkie Pie doll, even though you can see the fucking house. And it looks like a nice fucking house, too. I mean, let's see, the cabinets are nice. They got some alcohol up there. I could really tell his parents like to party, and there you go. So, non-story, these two are jackasses. Moving on. Now, this bit of news is going to be a little bit interesting for the folks at Horse News and slash MLP in general. Conroe and Newfer are coming to BabsCon. Now, Heather Newfer, she's cool, I guess. I would totally chill with her, get some drinks with her and everybody, and just have a fucking fun time at BabsCon. Trust me. Go over there. It's going to be fucking fun. BabsCon will be a BabsCon has basically became the party con. Spring Break 2015, San Francisco. Be there. You better come, fuckers. But Bobby Conroe. Now, if you guys don't know who Bobby Conroe is, he is the complete editor of the MLP comics. Now, yes, that's the same guy who defended Teddy Anderson and his shit opinions. Which, I mean, okay, he's entitled to his really bad opinions. I mean, there is no worse person in America than a self-purging white guy. Let's be honest here. There's those guys that just hate themselves for being white and wants to hate everybody else for being white. But according to them, though, according to the self-suffering white guys, I can be a complete dick to everybody. It's okay because my culture says so. Fan-fucking-tastic. Well, fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you. And you, fuck you. Everybody's listening to this. Fuck you. But I can get away with it because I'm Mexican. Yeah, that's kind of shit logic, but whatever. So, Conroe defends Teddy Anderson and putting in Dragon Dix OC, who is a really terrible person. Let's be honest, Dragon Dix is a really shitty person. And he's going to be a BabsCon. What are we going to do? I don't know. We're not even going to say. I mean, we're going to be professional. We're going to be courteous, of course, because we don't want to, damage anything. At least property. We don't want to damage property, at least. But at the same time, I don't know. I'll drink to that, though. Let's see what happens. More down the hatch for some Buchanan Deluxe? Yeah, more Buchanan Deluxe sounds good for me. Nice. So he's going to be there. Which is a shame Teddy Anderson isn't going, because I would have totally had to talk with him and show him how the world really is. Because obviously they have their opinions do not work. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of ironic. He wants to work. He wants to write for the MLP, but he hates bronies, even though they are the biggest buyers of the fucking comics. I mean, what kind of fucking logic is that? That is some stupid logic. But then again, there are actually a lot of I've actually noticed there are a good number of artists in the fandom who draw and do pony, and they will gladly go to brony conventions, ones that have a lot of bronies, male fans of the show, call themselves brony or not, and they will sell to them happily. But at the same time, they hate the fuck out of them because misogynies and shit like that. So it's like, the fuck. Anyway, I'm just drunk rambling here. Anyway, next story. So that's all the news we had. I know, isn't it great? We went through 12 news pieces, and all of them are relevant now. Well, minus the first one, and the one that's coming up right now. We're gonna have Flameheart K up on the show in a bit, and we're gonna talk. I'm gonna pick his brain about what he's doing. Maybe since he's talked about being a presidential candidate, I'm gonna talk about his presidential candidacy, and I don't know. Maybe he has a song for us. Maybe he's gonna rap for us. We don't know. Let's find out. So, joining us on the show today, our very first guest, George, aka Flameheart K. Flameheart, how you doing, man?
Very well, thank you. Good evening.
All right. Before we start, give us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my full name is George Kane. I'm from Ohio. I am currently in college. I'm in my second year studying chemical engineering, going for both a bachelor's degree and later a master's degree. And I work as a lifeguard. And in my free time, I like to exercise, go for walks, bike rides, and I like to watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Unfortunately, right now I can't because my mother has banned it from my life temporarily, but I'm hoping that she will lift the ban sometime before the season 5 premiere.
I think I'm going to start off pretty quickly, because we're horse news here, and I'm going to ask the question that I think everybody on Twitter wants to ask. What the fucking hell, dude? Obviously, you have started some controversy with some people in the fandom about your beliefs. What made you start expressing your beliefs out there for all to see? Especially in a community, especially on the internet, where, let's be honest, they're not exactly fond of people who are not fond of not liking what they don't like.
Yeah, I understand. But I decided to start becoming vocal about my beliefs because I don't like to see My Little Pony characters sexualized. I think that it's inappropriate because the innocence of My Little Pony is precious to me. And I feel as though it's almost my duty to try to keep it pure, both in with respect to the show and with respect to the fandom and the works that the fandom produces, because nobody else is. Nobody else is fighting against the sexualization of the characters. So I decided to step up to the plate and speak out against it. And I have confronted several individuals specifically, like Manda Pony and Ashley Ball, if you've seen my YouTube videos.
I did a drinking game. I totally got wasted. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
um, a good question to ask is, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw out my opinion here because, like I said, this ain't no Osaka Jack, and Osaka, sorry but not sorry. Anyway, there's the thing about sexualization in a cartoon is that it happens even in just every cartoon. Like, the Rule 34, it happens.
I
The
know, right.
rule, I don't know which rule about the internet is it, but rule something, nothing sacred. That, there's going to be sexualization. There's going to be adult things. And yes, there's going to be lesbian, gay ships. I mean, heck, the most popular ship in the fandom is either the gay one or the lesbian one. You got, what was it? Which was the most popular ship? Oh my god, I forgot the name of it. It's those two. The one Ashley Ball, was it Apple Dash or whatever the heck? And then you have the other, and then the second one is actually Sword and Brayburn. Thank you, Brayburn, the artist, for popularizing that ship. But the point is that like this is the point of the fandom where everybody gets a voice. They get to do what they want. It's sort of like a community thing. And the fact that sometimes when you try to be vocal about saying, hey, don't do this, this is not right, it kind of is akin to trying to police the fandom. Which, let's be honest, when you're trying to police a fandom that is over six continents, several million people from all different walks of life, it's impossible, dude. You can't police everybody because we're so big and we're so international and we're so loud that it's gonna be a little bit difficult to say, yeah, nobody, let's not do this, and then everybody's like, okay.
So basically, you're telling me to give up.
Oh, trust me, kid. There's a lot of times I can tell you to give up.
I completely understand that my effect might be small, but you never know. There just might be one or two people out there who do end up having a change of heart.
Or blocking you. Either way works.
Well, yeah, I've actually been blocked. I've been blocked by so many people. I'm going to list off several of them. I've been blocked by Manda Pony, no
Okay, Mando.
surprise.
Mando is cool though. I'll have to disagree
Right.
with that. Mando is a cool guy. I still have yet to drink with him, which eventually will happen someday. Who else you got?
I've been blocked by Ingrid Nilsson, who plays the voice of Maud Pie.
She's
That
alright.
that
I
was
haven't seen her. I haven't seen her yet. She's cool. I heard she's
yeah,
cool though.
that was a result of a huge misunderstanding, though. I've also been blocked by Osaka Jack, and
No surprise there.
I've also been blocked by Dusty Cat, and a
No
whole
comment.
bunch of other people.
No comment on the guy. He's tall and scary, so I can't hold my judgment.
A whole bunch of other people too, like the founder of BronyCon, Purple Tinker,
She's a
and
okay. I'll give her this. She sometimes her politics she goes a little bit crazy, but when politics aside, she's a total bro. Well, I want to say total bro, but that's our California language right there. Bro, brah, what's up, dude?
mhm,
That kind of thing. But yeah,
yeah,
she's totally cool.
I seem to be making more enemies than friends.
Yeah,
But of
that's
course,
what that's what
that
if you haven't seen like part of fandoms where people with opinions spout out, people are gonna disagree and are probably gonna make an enemy out of you. Like Purple Tinker, early in the day, she was very vocal about things, and a lot of people happen to still have hold grudges against her to this day over those. So there's that, because most people just don't even care. I mean, I don't want to say they don't care about the show, but it's just a show for them. They just want to watch it, like myself. It's a show. Hey, it's cool, ponies. Hey, there's a community, ponies. Cool. All right, cool. We're all fun. We're all getting drunk. Fantastic. So that's where most people are coming from. So when someone's trying to spout out an opinion on their show or their fandom or what they're doing, people will just be like, "Yeah, I don't want to listen to you." You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, everybody has their own different opinions. It just seems as though my opinions are in the minority and people seem to be really negatively responding to them. But I think that's to be expected because this is the internet. People like to be negative on the internet.
People like to yell at
And
each other. Yeah, I've
right.
seen that.
But also, I think that the reason why people are disagreeing what I'm doing, fighting back against the sexualization of the characters, is because our generation, the millennial generation especially, well, I assume you're a millennial, right? 80,
Unfortunately.
80s and 90s, right? Our generation has not really been raised with good morals. I think that our parents and grandparents' generations have failed to pass down good morals to our generation. And now things which were once unacceptable in society are now not only acceptable, but actually, celebrated and promoted and embraced. And then those of us who are now in the minority who speak out against it are ostracized and condemned, and a lot of hatred and venom has been spewed at me as a result of posting my videos, simply because of the great moral decline of society over the past few decades. Now, that's my personal opinion.
Well,
Everybody has
I
their own,
mean,
everyone has their own different beliefs. I understand, but you know,
well, there's the thing about the quote great moral decline. If we're gonna like go through it and see every great moral decline, our moral decline has started since we were back in the Stone Ages. I mean, every generation before says that to the next generation. Yeah, you guys' generation sucks. We're the best, or we're the better ones, and and that happens throughout history. I mean, even
mhm.
I mean, I'll even admit, I say that this generation's even the worst one because my dealings with Tumblr, where I have to deal with the next generation of kids, and they're all freaking idiots, and so I see where they're coming from, where people say, yeah, the next generation is going to suck because it's less moral. But also, it's sort of bit of a flux, though. If you look at the data and the graphs and everything, that it's sort of a moral flux. Morality isn't set in stone. Morality is fluid. I mean, back in our great grandparents' generation, it was okay to kill other people. They even did it for sport. Now it's kind of bad. Now you kind of like it's now down to football and stuff like that, where it's like violent but not really violent. So my point is, morality is kind of fluid, and yeah, morality is fluid. So like something that's set in stone back when our grandparents or our parents were around may not same effect to us because of different circumstances.
Are you implying that the definitions of good and evil are not definite, but that rather they are subjective? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I've seen through history.
Okay, that's actually probably where I disagree with the most with you. I personally believe that there is a definite definition of good and a definite definition of evil, because I believe in God, and I
As do
believe
I.
that I believe that God is good and that God is not evil. By nature he is righteous, and in him is no wickedness at all. So because
Now, hang
God,
on. I gotta stop you there. I'm not saying that God is evil. I'm just saying that
right.
things that humanity kind of has that morality that's fluid. I mean, we're not exactly gonna go up to him like he's not our. I mean, we can't really try to talk to him. I mean, he'd be our little referee. It's like, hey, is this good or bad? Oh,
Well,
it's
actually, we can though. We can go to him in prayer and ask him, and he has also revealed the definitions of good and evil to us in his word, the Bible. It all depends on.
uh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm actually a Catholic myself. I'm not exactly like wholly devout, but the Bible was written by a bunch of dudes. We don't exactly know what the true, like I said, morality is kind of fluid. I mean, there is a God. He is wickedness. He's righteous. He's not, evil. But the things we have done in His name that was considered good are now considered evil, and the things that were considered evil back then are now considered good. Like, oh, I don't know, something that was a sin back then, wearing two types of cotton or two types of clothing was considered evil, but right now it's accepted. I mean, if you really want to go down that slippery slope, it's kind of like, yeah, there you go.
Well, I can actually explain that mixed fabrics law to you as an example.
Good. Actually, the people who are fans of Rarity will enjoy this.
There are certain laws which God gave to the nation of Israel that were only meant for the nation of Israel before Christ. They were only meant for a specific people for a specific period of time. And those laws include laws like, no wearing mixed fabrics, no eating shellfish or pork.
Which would suck because I love my what's that place called again? Boiling Crab. If you ever been to Southern California, go to the Boiling Crab. And no, I'm not getting paid by them to do this.
Free advertising.
Yeah, well, it's that damn good. I mean, I understand where it's coming from, but like I said, there's because it just shows that back then it was okay to kill in the name of God. Today, not so much. I mean, we even had this recent situation in France where people are killing in the name of whatever the hell they're killing, and it's bad. But back then, back when sticks and stones could literally break your bones and kill you, it was acceptable to kill in the name of whatever culture you're part of, Charles Manson or something like that. So that's
I would like to point out though that the sixth commandment, which the God of Israel gave to Moses, does state, "You shall not murder." So
eh,
murder has always been against the law in the God of Israel's book. But
yeah, but
um,
then there's the Crusades, and then we can go down history where
right, but those were actions of men. Those were never ordained by God in His Word.
exactly, which explains morality is fluid because we don't exactly have a rule book that's well, I mean, we could like you say we have the Bible, but we don't exactly they didn't exactly
Right.
yeah, they just hey,
Mankind.
let's slaughter people in the name of blah blah blah. I mean, like I said, we shouldn't like as a present generation, we shouldn't look back to that and say that's why Christians are evil, or that's why people are evil, like because of actions in the past. I never liked when people did that, but it's sort of like a hey, yeah, learn as you go moment.
Mankind is sinful and fallen, but God is still good. So, if we
Pretty
ever
stupid.
see evil being committed in the world, it's the result of man's sinfulness. I don't think that detracts from God's word at all, though, because mankind has the tendency to misinterpret and misconstrue God's word in order to fit their own personal agendas. And I think that's what we see over and over again over the course of history, not just in Christianity, but also in other religions too.
All right. So moving on because we
Yeah,
don't really this is not NPR in their theoretical hour over there.
right. I feel like we've digressed from what you originally wanted to talk to me about.
What we were talking about? Oh, that's right. Porn, shit, like that. Okay, so yeah, yeah, you're trying to say that there's sexualization, too much sexualization in the MLP universe, and because of the fandom, and you're trying to be vocal about it. Filtered
I
shit.
understand that people are going to do what they're going to do regardless of how I feel about it. I can't stop them. I'm just trying to encourage people to stop by speaking out against it because I firmly believe that if the cartoon is rated TV, why? Then all of the works that the fans produce, whether it be fiction or artwork or music, should also be rated TVY.
Now I'm gonna throw a little curve at you here, boy, because you just mentioned that. And I'm just gonna go back to my weebness here, which I'm not really, but basically, you remember the series Sailor Moon, right? The old one, not the new one, but the old version.
I never watched Sailor Moon, but I do know I
Yeah, okay.
I I do know what it is. I mean, I've heard of it before.
So basically, it was basically an anime. It was mostly directed towards kids. Well, I mean, I'll probably get yelled at for saying no, it's not. But it's a cartoon. It's
Mhm.
probably directed towards kids. Chances are. The person who created the series actually drew sexualized images of the character she created. I mean, it wasn't like full on like ball slapping action, but it was more like Playboy style nudity and stuff. So when you have something like that going on, how can you really like judge that? Because you have someone created the show, intended for kids, but somehow made adult shit out of it too.
Was any of the adult material aired on TV?
No, but it was in this was back in the 90s, so it was in magazines, and magazines were big back then before the internet came out.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's justifiable at all. I still think that porn is bad and that it displeases God. It goes against His word. It's the imagery of sexual sin and immorality. So even if the creator of the show made it himself or herself, I still don't think that justifies it.
Yes, I can see that, but at the same
Because
time, it's more like because what everybody is trying to say to you, and that's what I'm trying to get the vibe from everyone is we get it, but trying to be vocal about it, that's sort of like me yelling at people for doing something I don't like. It's like, hey, you stop driving like this, or it's sort of kind of like makes you come off as I don't want to say pretentious, but where the shoe fits, wear it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and people are free to have that opinion of me. I don't mind.
What if I
Speak
gave
out against
what if
it.
I gave you $5? Would you stop it? Five whole dollars, like not just $1, not just two, not three, not even $4, $5.
No, there is no amount of money that you could give me that would make me stop.
Well, I work for the Cowboys. Shit. Anyway, um, Sorry, I wanted to make that joke the whole day.
I could
So
tell you were saving it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, also, I remember you saying that you were planning to become the president of the United States or a future candidate or whatever's.
It has been on my mind since 2009, yes.
Oh, what a hell of a year to decide that. I'm just gonna let you know right now is I'm actually when I was in school before the budget cuts kind of threw everything off, but I was actually a political science student. It was supposed to be my major, so I kind of know a little about the political systems how they work. So I've decided I'm gonna maybe pick your brain a little bit when it comes to politics because I think we're kind of like over the water with the whole porn image kind of thing.
Yeah, we've discussed that enough.
Though I'm still gonna say Leakfish's art is pretty cute. Can't stop me. You obviously, you probably researched a lot of the issues. Hopefully,
Oh, yes.
I
In
hope
fact, I
so.
actually I actually conduct research on the issues and the candidates before I go to vote. Like this
Wow,
past
you are
election.
like you're like 0.5% of America. Congratulations. I'll
Thank
give
you.
I'll give you some brownie points on that one.
All right, brownie points.
So I'm gonna take a guess here. Let's see. Last election, you probably picked for your local Republican representative. This is Ohio, Cleveland, so he's probably a Northern Republican. Not exactly Tea Party, but somewhere along that line. Am I getting in the same ballpark?
Well, let's see. Are you talking about for U.S. House of Representatives?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The guy's name that was on the ballot, the Republican, his name was Mark Zetzer, and he's actually a Jeffersonian liberal, which basically means that he believes in limited government, but he's also has some socially liberal leanings. But I voted for him simply because the Democratic candidate Marcia Fudge does not appeal to me at all.
That name though will not appeal to me. Fudge. That.
Yeah, Marcia
Anyway,
Fudge.
Fudge. All right, so let me do one. Actually, one that is in the heart of one of our VAs, the Keystone Pipeline. Opinions on the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, right now, our oil is transported by train for the most part between the United States and Canada. And occasionally, these trains derail and the oil explodes. It ignites and it explodes, and it causes huge catastrophic disasters. And this has actually happened several times in recent years. The Keystone Pipeline would actually, for the most part, eliminate that problem because then the oil would be transported between the two countries by pipeline instead of by train.
But wouldn't that
So,
cause a economic downfall with the loss of revenue, especially for the railroad industry, which they're kind of hurting because it's the railroad industry. Who cares about those guys? And plus, there's kind of not of a need for the Keystone Pipeline anymore because, especially now that Saudi Arabia has decided, hey, we're gonna pump out more shit that shale pipeline like the shale mining up extraction up in the north is kind of there's no point to it because you're just getting better gas I'm sorry, better oil coming down from Saudi Arabia.
well, I don't really know what the economic effects of every individual action of every individual country is necessarily going to be. I don't see anything wrong with the Keystone Pipeline. So my position on it would be, why prevent it from being built? If it's not
Because
going to cause any harm necessarily.
Well, it's going to cause a bit of economic harm. I mean, not economic, more environmental harm because sometimes these pipelines leak a little bit. I mean, not enough where like everything goes shit and haywire and everything like there's like a giant puddle of oil everywhere, but it's more like it kind of seeps into the soil, it goes all over the place, and it ends up, oil just ends up going on everywhere. And the problem is that the Keystone Pipeline is going to be going smack dab in the middle of a giant aquifer. Forgot the name of it, but it's the giant one down in the plains. And if some oil gets into that aquifer, or I don't even know the name of that thing, it's a giant puddle of underground water that stretches from southern Oklahoma all the way up to North Dakota. That
Mhm.
might get infected, and that's actually the water for people. That's the water for plants. I mean, this is the breadbasket of America right here, down in the Midwest. By the way,
Right.
I took a drive through it, heading to Nightmare Night, Dallas from California. Beautiful place. I mean, I don't know why people are hating on it, but Americana is so fucking beautiful. Just want to throw that out there. But again, that's where people are saying that might be a problem because environmental damage up and down the entire stretch.
And that is definitely a legitimate concern. I completely understand. Environmentalists do have some legitimate concern. I don't automatically take their side on issues. I think they sort of have to prove that their concerns are legitimate to me because I get the sense that liberals in politics like to overemphasize environmentalism in order to push their liberal agendas. Like especially when it comes to things like cap and trade and, carbon emissions taxes and stuff like that. So I'm wary of environmentalism, but I do understand that the environment is important, especially when it comes to our water resources, like as you mentioned.
Because right here in California, we are in a drought.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Fun stuff.
So maybe if the Keystone Pipeline could be rerouted, if that's even possible, maybe then it would be okay.
But then you're still gonna encounter the same problem though, where there's gonna be some leaking oil all over the place, and nobody wants to live near leaking oil all over the place.
True. But that's why I am still in the process of developing my political beliefs. And, if I were in Congress right now and a Keystone Pipeline bill were to be set before me, I'm not just going to automatically vote for it. Okay. I just want to make that clear. I have a sort of a system in place. First, what I'm going to do is read the bill and fully understand it. If I don't have enough
You know that sometimes when it comes to like politicking in Washington D.C., you don't really have time to read the bill. Sometimes when you ask, can I read the bill? Some of them just say, yeah, vote for the bill, and then we'll let you read what's in it. That kind of thing. Sort of those Capitol Hill mind games that kind of does happen. And I'm sorry,
Yeah,
it's
it actually happens all the time.
it happens all the time. It's wrong, but at the same time, it's legal. It's Loctite. You can't really do anything about it. Oh well. Better luck next session.
Yeah, I understand that's how the way it is, but that's not the way it's supposed to be. I believe that our
Welcome to
duly
Herman
elect
2014.
right. It's 2015 actually.
Oh, oh, okay. There goes one wrong. All right. Good
But
job,
anyway,
Charles.
I actually am running for Congress though. Whether I run for president in the future is, completely up in the air. But in the meantime, I am running for Congress. I do have an intention to run possibly as early as 2020.
So, does that mean I am the first media organization to announce your candidacy?
I believe so, yes.
Alrighty.
I believe Horse News was the very first media outlet to announce that I was running for president, although they said 2028, but I won't be eligible until 2032.
Oh, details. What are we
Right.
gonna know?
But before we continue though, I wanted to get back to my point I was going to make. I am running for Congress, and if I do get elected, I am going to read every single bill and completely understand it before I vote for it, if I vote for it at all. In other words, if I don't have enough time to read the bill, I don't care how good the bill ends up turning out to be, I'm going to vote against it because, what if there's a few
What?
bad elements, a paperclip?
Yeah, paperclip.
You mean an earmark?
Yeah. No, it's more
Yeah,
like
okay.
what happens with the paperclip is that they basically slip it some. I'm sorry. Like I said, my mind is always 100 miles an hour, so I gotta like slow down and think. Basically, what happens is that between I forgot which steps of the process, but they sort of throw in a bill or yeah, like an earmark. They just throw it in there, and they basically don't let Congress know. They're like, oh yeah, this thing was just added recently. Go vote for it. Have fun. Before they even have a chance to read what the earmark or the quote unquote
Right.
paperclip,
And that's
is.
exactly why I want to read the entire thing and fully comprehend it before I vote on it. Because if I don't have enough time, I'm going to vote no. Because, I mean, the bill could become the law of the land. And if a potential law of the land is set before me, then it would be irresponsible of me not to read it before I vote for it. So I think that any congressperson who doesn't read the bills that they vote for doesn't deserve to be in Congress or hold any political office at all. Because they're not doing their jobs. Their job is to read the bill before they vote on it, you know?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, that's the point of getting elected is just to do what you're supposed to do is just serve the people. And what's the point if you can't even read a document? I mean, I'll give you that at least.
Yeah.
I
So if
mean,
the Keystone Pipeline were set before me, first I'd have to read it and fully understand it. Then I would weigh it against, the Bible. Is it because the Bible is the standard that I use for morality? So if it contradicts anything in the Bible, if it goes against God's word, then I'm just automatically going to vote against it. But if it passes the Bible test, then it goes on to the Constitution test. I would weigh it against the Constitution to see whether or not it is constitutional or if it violates the Constitution. If it violates it in any way, shape, or form, I'll automatically vote against it. But if it manages to pass the Constitution test, then it has to pass the wisdom test. And that's where I would, consult people, experts who would give me their opinions on various parts of the bill. Like for the Keystone Pipeline, I'd probably consult an environmental expert who would inform me, hey, this will leak possibly and infect drinking water. I would definitely take that into consideration before I'd vote for it. I believe in people over profits. People are definitely more important than economic expansion. Even though economic expansion is nice, you always have to take people into account before money. But if it manages to pass the wisdom test, then, I'll pray about it. And if God doesn't tell me in a dream, George, don't vote for that bill, it will have passed all my tests and I'll vote for it. But basically, because my tests are so stringent, if that's the word, or strict, I don't know what the word would be. Because my tests are so severe, and and a bill would have to pass all of the tests. Basically, I'm not going to be voting for much legislation. I'm probably going to vote against 97% of the legislation that would be set before me because I'm a perfectionist. And if a bill isn't perfect, then in my opinion, it doesn't deserve my approval. So basically, a vote for me would be a vote against almost every single bill that Congress comes up with. And let's face it, I think that would be a good thing because the vast majority of the legislation that Congress produces is absolute crap.
And if you vote for me, you'll probably deal with a drunk with a controversy every other year. Anyway.
And that's why you would get reelected.
Oh, yeah, this is California we're talking about here.
I actually have an aunt who lives out there. She lives in Orange County.
No fucking way. I live in Orange County too. Okay.
Really?
Okay, hang on. Okay, so I'm gonna take a guess here because I'm kind of like trying to think of the sort of the demographic of you, and then trying to apply that to your aunt and see where she lives here. So let's see, white, upper middle class, lower middle class. What kind of class are you here?
Smack dab in the middle, possibly leaning toward lower middle class.
Okay, so it's a little more north of Irvine. Not close to the airport. Okay.
Keep in mind, my aunt actually has a master's degree.
Okay, so we're gonna be a little more south. Okay, so no, we're going all the way south. I'm going to guess either Mission Viejo or Laguna Hills, or even Laguna Beach.
You were right with the third guess. She lives in Laguna Beach.
Beautiful place, by the way. Head to the coves. If you guys ever go to Laguna Beach, head to the coves. It's nice. It's really nice. Lots of nice houses. It's more like I said, uppity, richer, white people. I mean, that's basically Southern Orange County, Northern Orange County, north of the 55 freeway. It's all Mexicans. No fucking joke.
Yeah, she lives near the shoreline too. She has a view of the shoreline.
Oh, I envy so hard. All I get is a good view of Disneyland. That's it. By the way, I live in Anaheim, so yeah, I live in the happiest city on earth, which really it isn't. But anyway, enough of that. I mean, heck, we even had riots, so I know we're like in a legit hood when we have riots. So this was back in 2012. Fun stuff. So let's see. Any other questions? Before we go, and this is my personal favorite part of every interview I've done. I don't know if you see some of my Horse News interviews, which you probably haven't.
I have.
So basically, before we go, I have to do one quick question because this is my favorite.
Oh dear.
And it only has failed once, where the person who I asked this question was just failed to answer it. And that happened to be the VA for my favorite character, Sons of Shimmer, which is Rebecca Soichet. She didn't want to answer the question, but
I think it's pronounced. I think her last name is pronounced Shoikit. Rebecca Shoikit, because she told me that on Twitter.
So far, nobody has corrected me, so I'm gonna roll with that until she corrects me herself. And
I actually
asked her. You actually talked to me, then
I actually asked her on Twitter, how do you pronounce your last name, and she responded Shoikit. So I take her word for it.
I'll probably forget in a couple days.
Yeah.
So she can answer this. Everybody else could. Now, you've been to actual brony meetups, in person, right? Have you? I don't know if you're allowed to with Big Mommy over there.
Right. Unfortunately, no. I have not. Listen, there has only been one brony convention in September 2012. I did not become a brony until September 2013. So I missed out on that one. And it's really unfortunate because everybody was there. Like almost all the VAs were there. including like Andrew Francis and Britt McKillop, and Lee Tokar, like obscure VAs like that, like them. Michelle Krieber was there, Tara Strong was there, Nicole Oliver was there, Kathy Westluck was there. Everybody was there
Was
except
wait was it I'm probably gonna get flack for this, but was that guy who is usually always following Michelle Creeper around? Was she there too? I forgot his name though. He's like always following her.
Black Griffin.
No, not that guy. He's cool though. I heard he's cool. I
Yeah,
heard he's a
he's a
brother.
guy
He was
who's
a,
always following
yeah, there's like
people.
this guy on Twitter that's always like going wherever she goes. I don't know. Anyway,
You mean Tim Graupner?
I think so. I don't know. Was he there? Timmy, were you there?
I don't know.
All right.
He was
Anyway.
her first fan. Tim Graupner was her very first fan. So he holds a special place in her heart.
Oh.
Um, I'm not really sure if that's the guy you were talking about, though. But anyway,
Probably. Apparently, he was selling a cookie of them too. Anyway, he was selling a cookie of whatever she bid. Anyway, enough of
what I
my
wanted,
my
I wanted,
question.
I
My
wanted
question.
to.
My question.
Okay, but before that, I just wanted to quickly say,
Yeah, what's up?
I have not been to a convention because there haven't been any in my area. There is a convention in Columbus called TrotCon, but my parents would never let me go, so I'm not even going to ask. Um,
Oh.
However, I did go to the Rainbow Rocks premiere downtown, and
That's a sweet
after,
movie.
and of course there were a whole bunch of bronies there, and afterward we hung out at the mall a little bit and had lunch. So that's probably the closest thing to a brony meetup I've ever been a part of. However, there was a picnic in October in a very safe community at a park nearby where I live, and I asked my mom if I could go to a picnic. I said a friend of mine from school invited me to go to this picnic. It's at a park nearby, and they've been planning it for 7 months. They did it last year. They're doing it again this year. And her initial response was, "Oh, sure, go, have fun." But then when I mentioned to her that it was a My Little Pony fan meetup,
That's a bad idea.
she was crestfallen. And I asked her, "So, Mom, is that a yes or a no?" And her response was, I just don't even know what to say right now." And then the following morning, I got my answer from my dad. The answer changed to a no.
So okay, let me go question. What's with your mom and hating MLP? I gotta ask that question. Is it sort of that whole machismo thing? I mean,
Yeah, she thinks it's unmanly of me for watching it.
I,
She has labeled the show, quote, gay, effeminate, babyish, and childish, and also satanic. I'll get to that in a second. Um,
boy, boy howdy.
she hopes that I will outgrow it one day. She just thinks it's
Oh no,
very
you're stuck in this for life, boy. Just letting you know
right.
now.
She thinks that I know exactly. I'm never going to give it up unless it suddenly becomes inappropriate, which it's not going to. Anyway, the reason why she doesn't like it is because, it's for little girls, and she doesn't like the fact that I'm watching it because I'm a full-grown man. But also, she doesn't like the fact that there's magic in the cartoon.
Oh, I can see. Yeah, okay, now I know where this is coming
Right.
from.
Because she thinks that the magic is
Black magic,
not
black
of
magic.
God or something. Right, but the magic in the cartoon is not witchcraft or sorcery, though. It's a natural power that the unicorns possess
Well, it
to
depends on the abridged series, honestly.
to manip
Anyway,
to manipulate reality. Um, but yeah, she doesn't like that either, and she doesn't like the fact that I've become obsessed with it, even though I haven't become obsessed with it. That's just her opinion. So she's banned it from my life temporarily, and she did that to me on Thanksgiving Day. On Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving. You're banned from this shit for life. Fantastic.
It
I,
was actually initially going to be permanent, but a few days later we had a good talk and she changed it from permanent to temporary. So I'm hopeful then that the ban will be lifted before season 5 begins.
wow, we really went off on a tangent there. Okay, so my question is, since you've been at Brony meetups before, do you have any Brony horror stories where you met someone there that was like, oh my god, so cringy?
Well,
Okay, I can hear that. All right, here we go. Let me take a seat here.
like I said, I haven't been to any brony meetups, but the closest one that I've been to that could sort of be called a brony meetup was the Rainbow Rocks premiere. And like I said, afterward we hung out with a group of people, and there were two people in our group, a brony and a pegasister. I don't know if I can mention their names or not.
Don't mention their names.
Don't mention their names?
Don't mention their names, because eventually
Okay.
they might hear this.
Right, exactly.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it here.
But one was a brony and one was a pegasister, and I wouldn't call this a horror story, but it was very interesting. because they truly were obsessed with it. They were obsessed with My Little Pony, to the point where like they had the attention span of rodents. Like I would try talking to them, and then they would interrupt me and just start talking about everything that was on their mind related to My Little Pony. And they were like buying a whole bunch of merchandise afterward, and they were talking about all the merchandise that they own. The brony who I spoke to, he said that he had My Little Pony posters covering almost every square inch of his bedroom walls, and he had My Little Pony bed sheets on his bed. Basically, his entire bedroom was My Little Pony themed. And he said, I'm going to cover up the remaining space on my wall. All I need is a Celestia Obey poster and a few other things, and my collection will be complete. I mean, these people were truly obsessed. And I went to see the movie with my friend, who is also a brownie, of course. And he and I were just looking at each other like, yep, we're the normal ones.
You know, it's funny.
It,
They look at you and they're like, "Yeah, we're the normal ones." That's what everybody says at each other at the meetup. It's like, "Yeah, we're the normal ones." Everybody else is like, "Ah."
right. It actually made us feel better about ourselves because we realized that we weren't the crazy ones, that there were other
Well,
people there who were crazier than we were.
that's what I love about going to conventions. Is sometimes you just look at some of the people, you're like, "Okay, I'm normal. I'm
Yeah.
normal." I mean, let's be honest. The only reason why I go to the convention is to, I'm probably gonna piss you off, but I go to drink, hang out with friends, buy merch, and probably hook up with some of the ladies. Anyway, thank you, George, for a wonderful time tonight. Hope you have the rest of a good weekend. And any last words you want to say before we sign off for today?
Yeah, would you like to hear my brony rap?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to decline on that one. I'm not much into the hip hop. You don't stop.
Well, this isn't really for you, it's for the audience.
Trust me, they're not going to. You know what? Yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out.
Okay, here's the thing though. It's a little bit less than 4 minutes long. Is that going to
That's
be a problem?
it's not a problem. That's good filler time.
Okay. Before I go, I'm going to ask you to count me off. So as soon as you go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, I'll begin my rap. And by the way, this rap is called Friendship is Hip Hop.
Okay.
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now look, I understand I'm a cracker, but that doesn't mean I can't be a great rapper. See, I'm from so it's okay, and I'm gonna rap about bronies today. We're guys who watch the best thing on TV, not ashamed to admit we love MLP. That's My Little Pony to the FIM. Friendship is magic, yo, so let's be friends. Yeah, me and my bronies walking down Ute. Anyone who thinks we're gay is just plain stupid. They don't understand, man. It speaks to your heart. You can't stop watching that show once you start. A member of the herd is what you'll be. Connect online and make an OC. The fandom ain't a cult, glad I said it on tape. But once you join in, you will never escape. Navy vet, Black Griffin, and acoustic brony. The living tombstone, a remix Israeli. Speedy and Stretch, yeah, Michelle and Natalie. I beg of you, my lords, won't you please notice me? Nicole, Tara, Kathy, Ashley, Andrea. Peter, New, Brenda, John, and Tabitha. Claire, Maddie, and Michelle of the CMC. I love you all to pieces, and so does Jesus. Don't forget Lauren and the writers, okay? Megan, Amy, Larson, and the rest eat hay. Follow me on Twitter, it would make my day. I'm at Flameheart_K. Saturday morning cartoon bliss. Daniel ought to make a song out of this. I gotta commend the mother who weaned us. I might be smart, but Lauren Faust is a genius. For the next half hour or three, I'll be sitting down watching TV, channel 335 with AT&T. My hub was the hub, but now it's DFC. Pinkie Pie girl, you're a bundle of joy. You help the cranky doodle boy. You never fail to make me smile. Your antics make me laugh for a while. Fluttershy dear, so gentle and light. You remind me of Princess Snow White. Kind and caring, mind the staring. You even made Discord do what's right. Rarity on the fashion scene. Of all the drama, you're the queen. Charity and generosity are sure to cure animosity. Applejack redneck, sweetheart southern. Apples, apples, apple bucking. Honest labor, not flim-flam lies. Apples, apples, apple pies. Rainbow Dash, you're a dashing young mare. No pony comes close and none can compare. Your spirit, your style, your do and your dare. Your loyalty proves you truly care. Twilight Sparkle, acing that exam. Bold as a lion, meek as a lamb. You might just be a princess one day. Spoiler alert, I just gave it away. If I hear the word diversity again, I think that I just might explode twice. But I don't want to leave the little guys out, so let's include the dragon minority spike. That's the main 6+1, you see. They learn about friendship and harmony. The CMC ought to be included too. Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo. We can't let the trolls ruin what we love. Time to take out the deplorable trash. The Lord God of Heaven's looking down from above, so let's be loyal like Rainbow Dash. I've got a little secret that I'd like to spell. Pinky, promise me that you will not tell. I'm gonna rap it with style and panache. I have a major crush on Rainbow Dash. Join the herd, Miss, Ms., Mrs., and Mister. I hope my future bride is a Pegasister. Flameheart, peace out, United States of Equestria. Write it in a letter to Princess Celestia.
Word. All right, that was great.
Friendship is hip hop.
That was Friendship is Hip Hop by Flameheart K.
Flameheart Kindle, yeah.
We're probably gonna see you guys. Are we gonna see you rap at BronyCon? Probably. I'm gonna tell you guys, this guy's probably a legit deal. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great time, and that was our interview with Flameheart K. Congratulations. Wow. Anyway, what I forgot to add towards the end is that recently he created a video that he apologized for everything. Again, this is the second time he apologized for his actions on Twitter, good or bad, who knows, and decided, yeah, I'm going to stop. Now, am I the only one that wants to take a bet that says he's probably going to be back later on, says about his opinions again, and get into a whole heap of more trouble? Hey, we never know. Anyway, next week we are probably going to have Sonia Lynn from BabsCon, which I might be working for, but that's not the point. That's not the point. We'll be talking about con shit and shit in general. All right, see y'all next week, and get the fuck out of here.